Despite its childish and wildly immature nature, Talking with Dinosaurs is not intended for children. It has blasphemy, sweary words, sexy talk, and bad thoughts. It is for entertainment purposes only, and while care has been taken to keep information as accurate as possible, paleontology is an ever-growing field with new data and theories constantly changing how we see these prehistoric monsters, so we make no guarantees about accuracy. I mean, not that it matters, paleontologists are just making it all up as they go along anyway. And Mum, I'm still very, very sorry. Dinophiles, welcome back to Talking with Dinosaurs, the world's #1 rated not safe for work comedy dinosaur podcast hosted by a New Zealander. And I have some really bad news. I regret to inform all my listeners that I am back on my bullshit. That's right, I'm here again to talk about whatever dumb shit pops into my head about these bygone beasties. And what's in my head this week? Well, mostly it's March of the Gladiators playing over a video of sauropods having sex in a lagoon. Now, this may come as a surprise to a lot of you, but this isn't actually what's normally running through my head. I mean, it is pretty similar, but usually it's an essentially decorated bedroom with the original Whose Line Is It Anyway theme playing in the background. Well, why the sudden change in my delirium and daydreams? It's all thanks to let's be generous and say respected scientist named Brian J. Ford. In 2012, Brian released an article in Laboratory News magazine claiming that large dinosaurs were aquatic. Well, it's an interesting theory that had been posited since the discovery of sauropods. They were so large, surely they couldn't support themselves. Water would make it easier. It seems fine, but these theories were pretty effectively put to rest in the 1970s. Pretty much, it boiled down to the fact that they had air sacs in their body to make them lighter, and it would have made them too buoyant to submerge, and their body shape made them pretty likely to tip, and it led one researcher, named D.M. Henderson, to refer to them as tipsy punters, a phrase that is definitely going to get you in trouble if you try and say it while tipsy yourself. Pretty much the entire paleontological community told him, lol, STFU. But, lol, STFU, he did not. No, he doubled down on his bullshit and wrote a book. A whole fucking book that was published by someone. Darren Nash, noted paleontologist and all-round legend, debated Brian live in front of an audience. Darren provided a lovely display of professionalism and evidence, and Brian talked, well, more shit than a verbose coprophiliac, with no real evidence to back up his assertions. One of his arguments in particular seemed to be, paleontologists are a bunch of liars just making shit up, which is cute when I say it, but is incredibly disrespectful to the founder of tetrapod zoology and one of the most respected scientists on the planet. After the debate, Brian finally, mostly shut the fuck up about his ideas, much to the relief of pretty much everyone. There was a year of peace, of innocence, of joy. And then the Fire Nation attacked. Wait, no, sorry. Brian doubled down again. Having now cubed his bullshit, Brian came out last week and announced that it wasn't an asteroid that killed the dinosaurs, not supervolcanoes. No, not even being cancelled for problematic YouTube videos had wiped out the dinosaurs. You see, according to Brian, dinosaurs died out because the shallow bodies of water they mated in dried up. That's right, I don't even know what to say to that. Sex lakes, buck puddles, pounding ponds. Ugh. It's worth noting at this point that Brian is actually a well-respected scientist with many honours. He's just not a paleontologist, and it's really sad that this is the hill he's choosing to die on. For that reason, Instead of the normal great contributions to dinosaur science by non-paleontologists because fuck them, we are awarding Brian the inaugural Sir Richard Owen Memorial What the fuck are you talking about award. Congratulations, Brian. Shine on, you wild diamond. So, now that's out of the way, let's get on with the episode. First up, we have a little breaking news. Someone found some brilliantly preserved moa footprints not far from where I live, and my local museum has dug them up and is currently preserving and studying them, and preparing them for display. Cool. New Zealand's extinct native ratites, really big, scary birds. Check out episode 10, I talk all about them, and I'm probably the nicest I ever will be about Sir Richard Owen. It's an iconic episode. But moa aren't what I'm talking about this episode. What I'm talking about this episode is the Caped Crusader, the Dark Knight, Ambopteryx. Ambopteryx is a newly discovered Scansoriopterygiid that has completely changed how we see the evolution of flight in dinosaurs as they evolved into birds. You see, Ambopteryx doesn't have bird-like wings, which are pretty much just arms with feathers sticking out. I mean, it's a bit more complicated than that, but if you want in-depth anatomical detail, go to an ornithological lecture, not some random kook with a podcast. And nor does it have the wings of a pterosaur, which have a membrane between the edge of an elongated pinky finger and the body, like the coke nail of God. And the other finger's just sort of hanging out in the front, sort of like extra feet. Ambo's wings, like bat wings on the other hand, are just big ol' hands with a membrane between all the fingers and connecting it to the body. This made Ambopteryx look all the world like a, well, not so much like Batman, that was quite misleading, but more like a feathered fantasy woven, something you could fight in Monster Hunter spewing fire or lightning, or some terrible frame rates on PC. We couldn't prove it breathed fire though, but it definitely does that in my head. While these wings may not have necessarily allowed it powered flight like modern birds or bats, it certainly would have been an accomplished glider. Ambopteryx's remarkably complete specimen was discovered in 2017 in China. It was so detailed, researchers were able to see evidence of the membranes and feathers, confirming the idea that these kinds of wings existed in dinosaurs, which had been postulated for its close relative, Yuqui. The amazing preservation of Ambo also gave us a good idea of its probably omnivorous diet, with the remains of bone fragments suggesting it ate small creatures, and gastroliths showing that it liked to eat rocks. You know, as you do. We do all do that, right? Well, you do if you're a species that doesn't have teeth like molars to grind up fibrous foods like leaves. How can you eat your leaves if you haven't had any gastroliths? This newly acknowledged hook in Earth's evolutionary tree is pretty fucking cool. But what do I rate it? I don't know. Fucking great and exciting and cool, I guess. Out of, I don't know, 7? I do what I gosh dang please, thank you very much. You can't question me. Now, the break. This episode's break is a wee bit different. Wow, I'm really playing fast and loose with the format today. You know why? Because I don't give a fuck. It's my podcast. I'll do what I want. But seriously, rather than playing an ad for another show, which I usually do, I'm just here to let you know that Talking with Dinosaurs has a Patreon now. Woo! Really cashing in as old Stefan. Pretty much, I don't want to put paid ads on the show for random bullshit, and this way I can cover my not insignificant costs in running the show. I have a FAQ on the Patreon page, www.patreon.com/talkingwithdinosaurs, where I explain in great detail the, details, really. So the main things you need to know is you won't ever miss out on Talking with Dinosaurs content for not donating. I don't believe in blocking access just because someone can't afford to financially support the show, or if they don't feel like they enjoy it enough to financially support but enjoy listening. I get it. I listen to lots of shit I don't want to give money to. It's all good. Mostly of what you'll get from donating is a smug sense of satisfaction, a shout out if you donate at certain tiers, and maybe early access to special bonus content on occasion. I do still ask that you donate to a charity, especially one that does environmental or educational work, before donating to the show though. Because, I mean, really, I don't need it. I'm a terrible salesperson, aren't I? It's just making life easier for me. However, there are other people who need it, so only donate to me if there's, you've got some left over after donating elsewhere. Thanks for listening to me ramble, trying to justify this decision. And remember that I still love you all, whether you donate or not. The fact that anyone listens to whatever this is is something I can never really believe, and that I'm privileged enough to make it cost neutral really blows my mind. Thank you all, whether you donate or not. Now, back to the show. Alright, now we've got the shilling out of the way, it's time for listener submissions. Wait, that's not my podcast. Sorry, Ruth. It's time for questions and answers. The first question comes from Daniel Thompson, longtime contributor, Discord chatter, and now patron. Daniel asks, do turtles have families, or are they just rocks with legs? Well, fuck, Daniel. This is the real shit. The deep, eternal questions that the world truly can't answer yet. Are turtles living, breathing creatures, or are they walking mineral deposits? Well, according to zoologists, I say with exaggerated air quotes, they claim that turtles are reptiles, often aquatic, that are usually covered in shells made of bone and keratin. But what does keratin contain? Carbon. And other stuff, yes, but let's focus on the carbon. What's in bones? Calcium. Well, what do you get when you combine carbon and calcium? Why, you can get calcium carbonate when you add oxygen. Now, calcium carbonate, it can form rocks, limestone and shit. Boom! We blew this shit wide open. Need more proof? Of course you do. This is fucking nonsense. But if it's true, it doesn't mean they can't have families. Rocks have families, and they deserve love. Thank you, rocks, for everything you do. Our second question today is more of a personal letter, really, and it comes from Tor, who says, I'm missing a small being, about 5'9", fuzzy fur, really grumpy, and responds to the name Blick. Can you let me know if you see him? I'll keep an eye out for you, Tor, but I make no promises. Blicks in the wild are hard to find. Ha ha ha! In jokes. That's all for this episode. I've got quite a few special thanks this week, starting, as usual, with Electricity, who made the amazing theme song. You can find him in the show notes. He also has a Patreon if you want to support that. I'd also like to thank Adam Donahue for the amazing logo and the great contributions to Dinosaur Science segment. I'd also like to thank my partner Sarah for making me actually finish episodes. And this week, extra special thanks to my new patrons, Alison, Ash, Daniel Thompson, and William from Cheers to Gaming. And you know what? To all of you listening, you're all great. If you want to check more of me out while you're waiting for the next episode, I recently guested on podcast of some friends of ours, Insanely Haunted, and I was really proud of how that turned out. I unlocked the secret socialist message behind the noted terrible ghost show, Ghost Adventures, and it will blow your mind. I was also on a couple of episodes of Cornfields and Kobolds, all of which will be linked in the description below. Check them all out and keep listening to those podcasts, they are awesome. If you want to contact the show, hit me up on Twitter at Talking DinoCast. You can join the Facebook group Talking with Dinosaurs Dinophiles Anonymous, or you can email at me at talkingwithdinosaurs@gmail.com. As usual, make sure you do something good out in the world, donate to a charity, volunteer your time, support one of your friends who's struggling. If you're still willing and able to after that, feel free to donate to the Patreon on patreon.com/talkingwithdinosaurs. But like I said, you won't miss out on anything if you don't, and I will still love and appreciate you. I just won't be able to finance my dinosaur cloning operation to take over the world if you don't. But you know, hey, sometimes that happens. Life doesn't go the way you plan. Anyway, I want you to look after yourself. Inohora. I've been Stefan Ato, and we have been Talking with Dinosaurs.